Hey guys, welcome back to Modeling Manhood. Today I want to talk about some of my first experiences trapping. When I was a young boy, probably like 6 or 7 years old, I found some foothold traps in the barn and decided I was going to go on a mission to conquer and take care of all the groundhogs that we had at the farm. And let's just say I did catch a few groundhogs, but I caught a lot of cats and a couple birds and a couple other things. And all those things other than the groundhogs were non-target species. And sometimes when we set a trap, we end up catching things that we don't intend to catch. And the same thing can happen in many areas of our life. Maybe we're focused on this one thing and this one thing only. And the devil's like, hey, I'm going to catch you off guard. And he's going to set a snare and a trap for us. He's going to catch us when we don't expect it. We always need to be on our guard because he's looking for somebody to take advantage of and someone to devour. And he would love nothing more to see a good man go down, especially a Christian man who's standing for truth and trying to do what's right and live a righteous life and encourage others to do the same. And King David had an experience that affected generations to come, kind of like catching species that I wasn't intending to catch in a trap that had ripple effects through the farm. If I caught too many of the cats, then we had problems with the mice. But anyways, let me just get into the Bible story. And 2 Samuel chapter 12, starting in verse 15. Then Nathan went to his house, to David's house, and the Lord afflicted the child that Uriah's wife, this is Bathsheba, bore to David, and he became sick. And this child ended up dying. And the Lord told him that there were going to be consequences and gave David some choices on what was going to happen. And starting in verse 13, we can see the problems that are brewing now in David's family. Now, Absalom, David's son, had a beautiful sister whose name was Tamar. And after a time, Amnon, David's son, loved her. And Amnon was so tormented that he made himself ill because of his sister Tamar. And it says that he ended up having incest and actually raped his half-sister. And it's just so gross to think what was happening in David's family because a father didn't step in when he should have. And he had made his own sins, and his kids were sinners from birth too, but there was just problems in David's household because a trap was set and no one was there to make sure that it wasn't going to go off, basically. He should have stepped in as a father and said, listen, the way you're thinking is totally wrong, but he didn't. And as a result, Absalom, later on, if you read from here to chapter 24 in 2 Samuel, we talk about the conflict of David and Absalom and how David actually was kicked out of Jerusalem for a while and how his son was with his wives and concubines while David was fleeing for his life again, kind of like he was for Saul. And if good men don't stand up for the injustices and the evil in this world, things are going to creep in. Just like this trap. This trap should have been used for just catching groundhogs, but I didn't have the experience to know how to set the trap so that I didn't catch the neighbor's cats and all our farm cats. And the same with us too. If we're not careful, the devil's going to lay traps for us along our walk. If we're too focused on one thing and not thinking about these other things, he's going to be like, I got you right where I want you. And that's what was happening with David. David should have stepped in as a father. And as fathers and friends and husbands, sometimes we need to step in because a trap has been set for us or for a good friend or a family member. And we need to know how to disarm it so that we can safely navigate around that. Imagine swimming through a bunch of landmines or bombs that have been set and just not knowing where to go and just walking through there aimlessly without ever giving a care in the world. And eventually we're going to get hurt And that trap is going to go off, and we're going to fall and stumble. And we shouldn't wonder why, because we weren't giving attention to the things that were important in our lives. And if you guys are thinking about what is a stumbling block in your life, maybe it's a stumbling block in somebody else's life, get together, encourage each other, stand on truth, and get into God's Word. Look at the example of what happened in David's household because he wasn't willing to stand up as a man. And sometimes it's hard to stand up, but I'm encouraging you guys to take a stand for what is right and what is true and what is honorable. And God will bless you for it. And you will not have to worry about getting caught in one of the devil's schemes or one of his antics or whatever you want to call it. Thank you guys for joining us. And I hope you guys are catching what I'm feeding you guys, just like this trap here. Make sure you guys are catching the truths of this word and applying them to your heart each and every day. Thank you for joining us here at Modeling Manhood. And as always, remember to mirror your maker and journey with Jesus.